Welcome back to Loud End, the podcast where we talk about the real shit behind running a creative business without the fluff, the fake positivity, some six-figure weird business coach nonsense. And I am your host, Khandie Rees. And today we are answering a question that I got sent via the Facebook group for the Loud Lens. So if you're not already in there, jump in there. We talk loads. You can also contact me on Instagram at Khandie Photo or anywhere else you can find me. Honestly, I'm open to it. And I love getting these questions because I feel like if I'm getting the question, it means other people are possibly thinking this, and I know that I can answer this one. At least I hope I can. That's the point. So, and I got it. I was like, this is a good one. So this came from a photographer who's moved to a new area after a life change and said, Khandie, I'm effed. How do you market your business when you have zero money and only a few clients in your area? I've just moved into this part of town and I know nobody and my clients are all over the other side and I need to start afresh. What can I do? I have very little income. And I was like, okay, do you know what? I know there are photographers out there who right now are struggling for bookings. I see it on the groups. People are saying, I'm not getting many bookings in. And I know that cost of living is going up. So none of us want to spend extra money. So this should hit quite a lot of you. Social media reach itself is flatter than a week old Coca-Cola left on the side. And honestly, I'm seeing it. And I don't want to make you spend any more money. So I'm going to strip it down and I'm going to tell you what I would do, because I have done this when I first started my business here in Northampton, because you know the story. I never expected to have a studio. I got the studio and I had basically a week to get it together and make profit. So this is your 7-day, no money marketing plan for photographers, okay? This involves you just having a phone, your camera, and an internet connection, okay? And maybe a friend. So no ads, no agency, no fancy funnels, just honest, very doable, works in the real world according to my experience. I have to preface that because I don't want to be one of those people that says, this will make you 7 grand in a week. I don't like that kind of mentality. I want to be honest with you. So if you're feeling broke, if you're feeling invisible, or you're just tired of shouting into that massive void of social media because you haven't got a clue what you're doing, this episode is very, very much for you. So what I want you to do is go grab a coffee, tea, vodka, whatever you're feeling today, get a notebook and pen. All right. I know this podcast, you can listen to it again, which is great. If you want to listen to it again, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you click follow on the podcast, wherever you're listening to, because I release these quite often and I'm very open to any of your questions that I made future episodes of. That made no sense, did it? I will make future episodes of. Okay, so let's start with day one. I don't care if your day one is a Friday. I don't care if your day one is a hungover Sunday morning. Okay, day one, ground zero. Let's start fresh. Okay. Day one is about getting your house in order. And I'm not talking about you getting the Hoover out and like cleaning the skirting boards and all that rush. I'm on about, before you even try to market, you need to know how people see you when they find you. That's if they find you, obviously. Because if your online presence looks like a graveyard, there's no recent post, there's broken links, outdated bio from 2019, people assume you've either packed up or vanished off the face of the earth, okay? So this is what you're going to do. You're going to Google yourself. I know. I know you're like, oh, Google. Yeah, there are others. Do you remember Ask Jeeves, anyone? But Google's a very powerful engine. There's a reason, okay? See what pops up. Just Google it in. Put your business name in, your professional name, whatever it is you're using for your business. Put it in. Is it your website? Is it your social medias? Or is it some random blog from 2014? And then I want you to go and fix every single one of your bios, okay? Every single page must say the same thing or words to that effect. So if you have it on, I don't know, your Instagram, image maker, focus on storytelling. Okay, great. Except your bio in Instagram is now SEO ready, right? So you can optimize it. So instead, I want you to change it to, just for now, you can fluff it out if you really want to later, photographer in the area you're in, specializing in and the areas you specialize in. Why? SEO, baby, search engine optimization. We're going to start off strong. When we get more known, we can add all the fluffy BS. But how many people are Googling storyteller photographer in Accrington? They're not. They're looking family photographer in Accrington or headshot photographer. Let's be honest, no one's putting storyteller in. So why are you wasting time in your bio that is search engine optimized to put words like that in? Okay, so we're going to go in just heavy, strong. We're not going to make people guess what we do. All right. You're also going to pick your top 3 photos, the ones that show what you want to shoot, okay? Not some random filler. You're not going to go, oh, I really like this picture of a dog, but I actually want to shoot weddings. We're going to choose what we're going to shoot, and do not tell me you don't know what you want to shoot, okay? You're a photographer. If you've just put what you specialize in, those need to be the images, just the top 3, and you're going to pin them to the top of your Instagram, okay? All you have to do to pin is click on the 3 dots, and there it is. It's an option, okay? And what I want you to do is also This is a lot for day one, I know, but we're not doom scrolling today, honey. We're trying to make our business survive. So guess what? Business is hard work because we've let it go for a while, okay? So we need to do this hard work. It gets easier throughout the week, I promise. But this is day one. This is where we put the foundations in, all right? We're going to look at our past photos from our clients, right? And we're going to find one that we know that we've got a story on. And if you haven't got a story, you can add your own element into it, okay? But say, for example, someone called Sarah came to you for headshots, right? And she had said to you, I hate every photo of me. You're going to turn it into a story. You're going to share her photos, provided you've got the consent to do that, because if you do not have your GDPR in order, we need to get that sorted as well. I mean, it should be one of the things you do anyway. I mean, I get to look into my Studio Ninja thing and I can see they give me permission to use it in marketing. I mean, there are other ways you can do it, but we are professionals. We need to know about that. Is that a random bird just squawking? If you heard that, that was a random bird. The birds agree with me, okay? So you're going to say, perhaps, this is Sarah. She booked me off saying she hated all of her photos. Look how stunning she looks in our shoot. Okay. It's a little bit of a story and people connect. Why? Because a lot of us feel like Sarah. We don't like pictures of ourselves. Okay. I look at pictures of me sometimes and go, oh, do I really look like that? And I've just leaned into the ugly photo of me. I've decided to make it part of my personality. I don't need pretty pictures of me pouting. I like me being weird. But people really like it. And if people connect, that's better than any ad. Okay. I also want you to create a 7-day content journal. Okay. You're going to go, what's that? It's just a page a day with what you're going to post. And every day you're going to post something. It doesn't need to be perfect, okay? I don't want perfection. We just need to get stuff out there. So don't think of it like I need to have some cinematic genius like Peter McKinnon, the guy off YouTube. No. No, we don't. It could be as easy as I posted me walking in a field, talking about a story. If you follow me on Instagram at Khandie Photo, you can see it, of me just talking about how a guy was a dick to me in my studio. Okay. It could be you drinking coffee, sharing some silly advice. Okay. It could be behind the scenes, a throwback, some advice, a rant, anything that shows you exist and give people a reason to care about you. Remember, people can't book what they can't see. So you don't need to post 20 times a day. You just need to be present and current. Okay. So if your bio hasn't been updated since 2010, okay, I want you to, even if it hasn't been updated in the last 6 months, check it's still current. Does it still sound like you? Okay. And honey, that is day one done. Isn't that amazing? Day one is done. So when we cut fresh for day two, we're about joining conversations now. So now that your digital presence isn't embarrassing, social, I mean properly social, because social media was about being social first, and then it became social media marketing, social media networking, social. We're going to focus on the social element. We're not going to stop. We're going to literally stop posting and ghosting. We're not some celebrity that just gets to like dump our pictures and disappear. No. We're not going to drop content and expect engagement without being part of some conversation. So day two is about hanging out where your potential clients are. I want you to spend at least an hour. If you can't spend more than that, that's fine, but at least an hour and commenting and helping in local Facebook groups. So for me in Northampton, I might be in Northampton Small Business Network. I might be in UK family activities. Look for what it is. Look for your town's community group. They have them in your area, okay? It might be a case of going onto the search bar in Facebook and putting your town. I always pick on Accrington. Accrington. Maybe there's a name that Accrington uses because in Northampton, it's sometimes called Northants. Put them in, see what comes up, find groups. Sometimes you'll be recommended groups once you've started joining them, but you're not going to spam with your link, okay? That could get you banned, make you look desperate. Instead, you're going to be useful. You're going to answer people's questions, give advice, and drop tips. For example, had someone said, I'm looking for a photographer for my shop launch, you're not just going to go, hey, here's my link. You might actually go, hey, I've done a couple of business shoots like this. I'm happy to help. Let me DM you some examples. Here's my link. You're showing something a little bit more human, a bit more friendly. But imagine someone says, oh, I'm really struggling to get photos of my product in my shop. You go, oh, that's great. Well, what you want to do is move more to the light and maybe put a piece of white card on the other side of the window just to bounce into some shadows. You go say, if you need any more help, drop me a message. I'm a photographer. Here's a link to me so you can see I'm legit. Like, see how you're answering a question, showing that you've got the knowledge, but also not pushing a sales on somebody. It could also be, oh, I'm really struggling. Like, let's say you're in a wedding group, you're a wedding photographer. I'm really struggling on where to get some decent shoots. Does anyone know? You could say, do you know what? I would happen to be randomly in the Salvation Army the other day, and they had a whole section of brand new bridal shoes in the charity shop. Maybe that'll help you. Now, you might think that's not related to photography, but it does show you care and it gets your name noticed and builds people up. And people love a bargain. You know what I mean? Like, there are ways to, obviously, they have to be truthful. Great. You can even ask questions. Hey guys, I need to have a meeting with a client, but I don't want the regular thing. Does anyone know any cool places to hang out which serves great coffee? Everyone has a favorite coffee shop. Don't poo-poo if they say Costa or Starbucks. I mean, but don't poo-poo them. Just go, thanks so much. You know, you're building your confidence. And it also, people are like, oh, they've got clients. Wow, they're popular. Do you see what I mean? You're getting engaged, okay? You're just engaging. You're going to be friendly and human. And maybe while you're there, you could message a few past clients, not to sell, just to check in. It could be you did some headshots for a solicitor's firm. Hi guys, just checking in. How's business? You're looking great. Let me know if you need some updated images, but they look great as they are. You know, like, you can just talk. It's about relationship marketing. It keeps you top of mind. No, you might not want to do that. I understand, because maybe you haven't spoke to them in years. I would say, if you haven't spoken to them in years, maybe not. But if you've just messaged them, if you've just sent them out maybe a couple months ago, oh my God, they look so great on the website. It's fantastic. I hope you're having a great day. I love that. Whenever I see my work on a client's website, I just drop them a message, go, oh, they look so good on the website. Congratulations. You look great. You know, I like to do that. Thing is, you're connecting, and it's a big difference. People who feel a connection are probably more likely to buy from you than anything. Do you understand the term cold and warm and hot sales leads? So a cold lead is someone who's never had any interaction with you, and you will spend more energy and time trying to make them buy something from you than you will someone who's already touched base with you. So a hot lead would be someone who's already dealt with you and you've literally just finished with them, and they're more likely to buy from you or connect with you again because they've literally just dealt with you. A warm one is someone who's started to have interaction with you and there's potential they could buy from you. Why would you spend all your time trying to attract cold leads when it's easier to take money from, or make connections? Well, let's be honest, take money from hot and warm leads. Okay. So what you want to do is, when you're socializing, think about all these cold leads out there and go, okay, I'll start warming them up slightly by interacting, because then they're always slightly warm and they're dealing with you. Yeah. You're not just jumping into a Facebook group going, headshot sessions, selling them, buy me, and then leaving. Because nobody knows who you are. No one gives a F. So let's not do that. Okay. Right. Nice. Yeah. That's day 2 done, darling. We're already done on day 2. We are out of there. Day 2. Cheers. But please remember day 2. Okay. So day 3 is about storytelling and content. And I know you're going to go, oh, Khandie, I hate making content. I freaking hate it. Honey, it is not that difficult. I think social media has made us think it's difficult. I swear it has. So you're going to start making some noise, and it's time people had something to stick around for. So day 3 is about storytelling, because content without a story is just utter nonsense and noise. Post something very real. Tell people why you shoot. Tell them about a mistake you made and what you learned. Tell them about a shoot that made you fall in love with your work again. For an example, I started photography because I got sick of seeing people like me, normal bodies, real faces, never feeling beautiful in photos. So now I make sure they do. Like, I mean, you choose your own wording. You know, it sells you without selling the shot. But also tag local venues if you shot at them. The MUAs you worked with, which is makeup artists, if you don't know what that means. Stylist, sound effect, whoever fits in, right? And also, actually, while you're at it, why don't you reshare some of their work? It's like free cross promotion. So you share some of their work, they're more likely to share it back and share some of your own. Because the minute they share your post back, you're doubling your audience, or more so, because you're now in their audience. And people buy stories more than they'll buy pixels. So make them feel something. And I want to just say, content does not need to be hard or difficult. We're not out here trying to create masterpieces of cinematic genius. Okay. We're not doing that. What we are trying to do is create connection. So it could simply be like, I've done it. I've said it on my Instagram, right? Me walking in a field talking about a guy who came to my studio and was rude to me, and it got some traction, you know. Sometimes I do day in the life where I literally film myself having different various cups of coffee around town. Anyway, check my Instagram. It doesn't have to be fancy. It can be slick, but we're not in the realms of being able to spend time being slick. We're in our 7-day, get our name out there and get us started to get bookings, yeah? So we're not going to do that. We need to do what we can do right now. You do not need to do a crash course in Premiere Pro or DaVinci Resolve or whatever. We're going to start doing stuff now, okay? Instagram has its own app, which is free, called Edit, which you can go in and create reels in there with a little bit more little bit more creativeness than in just the Instagram itself. Go have a look. You can get it. It's free. Again, a free one. Okay. Go and look, right? You can do stuff in CapCut, but again, some of the fancier templates you might find that you have to pay for. That doesn't mean the free ones aren't great, but we can do it in various ways. Adobe has its own one you can do. Adobe Express has ways, but again, you need to have there's all these different things. I don't want to add money onto you. Okay. Not everybody's using Adobe. And so, you know, these are the places. Okay. It doesn't have to be great, just connection. Top tip, if you can show your face, it seems to have a bit more of a reach in my personal experience. And also remember to put captions or text, because not a lot of people listen to reels and stories and such, like with the sound off. Okay, so consider that will give you more reach. All right. But remember, people want to buy stories, so tell them a story. Don't just start with like, "Hi, I'm Khandie, and I'm a photographer in Northampton. I want to tell you about the time that this person was really rude to me." And no one's going to buy that, are they? You want to go, "I remember the day of my shooting, some douchebag was a twat to me," and people are like, "What? What did that happen?" Oh my God, more interesting. See, that's called the hook. I'm getting them in. And they'll go, "So I opened my studio in Northampton over a decade ago. So I'm telling them a story. I'm giving them some information. And yeah, this guy was a douche. Let me tell you the story." And suddenly people are now intrigued. You see, it's a little bit of a thing. All right. But you just don't think of it as like, "Hi, I'm Khandie." People don't want to know that. They already know because they're following you. Give them an interesting thing straight away. Within 3 seconds, they need to know like something that will hook them in. All right. Hook them in. If you're doing a customer makeover, just go, "She hated every single photo. Oh, I was dreading this session, but you see, you've got this hook now, and then the but is to get people to want to know what the next thing is. Okay, so let's try and do that. But equally, if you can't, just have you sipping a coffee, put a voice over the top. It's okay. All right. So now we're going to move on to day 4, because, honey, we have made it past what was the hump day of day 3. We're now on day 4. We can see the finish line of day 7. It is glistening in that horizon. We're heading there. So day 4 is collaboration and visibility swap. You want clients, but you've got no audience. Okay, so you're going to borrow somebody else's legitimately. Okay, day 4 is about collaboration. Now, it's strategic visibility trading. Okay, it's not doing stuff for free. Please understand that. So what you can do is you're going to look at your local area, and you're going to Google, or you're going to maybe who they are, who you want to work with. The kind of small business that needs visuals: salons, cafes, boutiques, florists, dog groomers, tattoo artists, hair people, nail people, anyone whose business depends on aesthetics, and you're going to message them. Okay. Maybe not quite this copy, but maybe go, "Hi, I'm a local photographer trying to build up my portfolio. I'd love to photograph your business for a few shots that you can use on social. All I ask is that you tag me when you post." Like I said, it's not free work. It's strategic visible trading, because you want those people to share your work. You're not going to do a full shoot. You're going to do a couple of images. Okay. And if you can get a couple of these collabs in, suddenly your name starts popping up on loads of people's feeds that you couldn't reach before. Now, you need to have it very much stipulated in your contract, and you need to put contracts, because if you're not doing contracts, we're not doing our business well, are we? I normally send my contracts out on Studio Ninja. They are not, by the way, I'm not making you go and do that. That's just, it's automatically, and I can see when they've signed and agreed. That's how I like to do it. Okay. I do have a discount code if you want in my bio, but do how you do it, but make sure you have it in the terms and conditions that they have to tag and promote you. Okay. They have to tag and promote you. We're not effing this up. All right. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to bring your best energy to the shoots, make them so good they have to talk about you, be buzzing. But you're also going to film for yourself. So post behind the scenes clip, tag the business, tag the location, try and show your face. I know you don't like showing your face, for a lot of you, but how is a client going to be comfortable in front of the camera showing their face to you if you can't show your face to them? Okay. But I also want you to tell people what you're doing. Marketing doesn't always need a budget. Sometimes it just needs a bit of effort. So you doing this and sharing the pictures, get them out to them quick. Okay. As quick as you can. I would say spend no more than 20 minutes there, 30 minutes. It's like an aperitif, a little bit of a taste of what it's like. Get some good shots, bang them out, send them to them, and they have to tag you in it. Okay. They have to. And not just like in the picture itself, but in the caption as well. Okay. They have to. And what you can then do, and it's very sneaky, when all these pictures come out, it looks like you're booked over it. No one else needs to know you did it freely. But everyone else is going to be like, "Oh my God, they're booked. They're so booked. They're so booked. Jeez, look at them. They are booked." Okay. It might be that you don't want to do business branding. Okay. Maybe you want to do family shoots. Okay. So you're going to go look for a family who fits in with your thing. Now you might go have a look for a family, Khandie. Instagram. You want a family that's active on social media. Maybe not like a massive, crazy influencer, but maybe someone who's like grassroots, just starting out, but has a really engaged audience. And I'm going to talk to you about this very precisely because I have my own stories on this. There are many people out there, content creators, self-styled, who believe that they are an influencer of some description. An influencer, by definition, is somebody who influences others to do something, to acquire something, to buy something, to do things. Yeah. Now, I wouldn't say I was an influencer. I create content for sure. But there are many people who have some following who seem to have a lot of sway in the industry. But actually, when you look at their analytics, they're pretty poor. So for me, I want to see if they've got a certain number of followers, they should have a large number of likes. And more importantly, likes I see as the lowest end of engagement, should be comments. Okay. Commentary is very important. And I'm not just talking like the little love hearts, emojis, all that, like actual words written that people are reacting to. Okay. That's who you need to look for. So I don't care if your person has only 3,000 followers. If they have people in their comments going, "Oh, I love that dress. Where'd you get it from? Oh my God, I love that. Where did you buy this? Oh my God, are you going on holiday here? Hey, how did you do your hair like that?" Those are the people I want, not the person with 10, 15,000 who's got a couple of likes and barely anyone commenting. Okay, that I would rather go with a lesser content creator than that one, because I do social media analytics, and the amount of times I do deep dives into these people and they get all of these free stuff sent to them, and yet they have the worst engagement. And I'm like, why are you doing it? And it's because their feed looks pretty and people think a pretty feed therefore means a successful influencer. No, it does not. It does not at all. Not even in the slightest. In fact, we have one here in this local area who, honestly, the engagement rate is less than 1%. And yet still, in fact, it's less than 2.2% even, 0.2%. So that's abysmal. That's in the trash can. And yet still, because people see the pretty feed, are like, "Oh yeah, yeah, definitely, that's who I need to get." And you're like, "No, it's not. It's really not." And I hate the fact this person swans about and gets freebies. And literally, it's a vanity project for them. They don't actually, yeah. Mm. And people go, "Yeah, but when I shared it, I got loads of boosts from it," because your audience were already engaged with what you do. Like, you've just given this guy a load of free stuff for a video that if you had shot it yourself, you would have not had to let him get freebies. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? So anyway, marketing doesn't need a budget. It sometimes just needs a bit of effort. Okay. So film yourself backstage. I don't care what you're using. I couldn't care less if it's the high class Nikon and Insta360 Go like I often use, your phone. I couldn't give a crap. Just film something, enjoy, post, get people chatting, get them interacting with you. Okay. Right. Look at that, honey. We've done day 4. We've done day 4. Now, it might mean that the people you've contacted on day 4 aren't ready to shoot that immediate day. Okay. So I don't think there's anything wrong if you're going off to a cafe. I did say don't spend any money, and approaching them if you feel ballsy enough to go, "Do you mind if I just do it now?" If you want to do that, okay, crack on. Other one I would say, a nice tip is, one of the things a friend of mine did because she was struggling. And I said, "This is a great idea." Go around. She's a lifestyle blogger, and she was like, "I know it's not photography." She said, "Khandie, how can I get my name out there?" I said, "Well, one of the things you love is aesthetics and design." She went, "Yeah, yeah." I said, "So why don't you go around your town with your phone and just photograph the shop frontages that make you feel something that you like, and then put it in a reel and talk why you like them?" And she did that, and she then got loads of business from it because people were like, "Oh my God, she loves our shop front. Oh, I love that." And she was talking about, there was this lovely shop that had like this lavender exterior, and it was accented with little hints of yellow. And she was like, "I just love this balance of color." And you know, it's for someone who that is her sort of aesthetic and how she talks on her content. It got her great traction because the local community saw that she was literally in their community hyping them up. They hadn't asked to. She tagged everyone in it. There are ways to get around this. Maybe you look at shop fronts and go, like, everyone has a website. Here's a great one. Everyone has a website, but actual store frontage, look at this stuff. These are some of my favorite around the area, and tag them in. And they might really like it because they're included and they're saying, "Oh, that's really nice." And if you put the addresses in, this is a hair salon on, I don't know, Hatters Lane called Halo, and it's got a beautiful, like, you can talk about this. There are ways to create this, okay? So think about that. So now we are on day 5, and it's about community and authority. So you've got your content, hopefully some collabs coming in, and you're making connections. And it's time to show people that you know your shit, honey. So day 5 is about becoming the local go-to photographer, not the desperate one. Okay. The go-to, not the cheap one, the go-to. All right. So maybe we could do a quick live video or a reel with a helpful topic. Maybe it's something about, let me think. Well, what can I do? How to look confident in photos. Why good lighting changes everything. Free tips on making no, how to take better photos of your kids. Just and don't worry about it. Like, you're not giving away your work. You're just educating people to show that you know what you're talking about. And it's not about fancy editing. Do it on your phone. Like, what's the problem? Just like you could literally do your front camera, which is the poorest quality. Go, here I am taking a photo away from the window. Grainy, grab. Here I am near the window. This is why lighting's important when taking photos. The light. Photography literally means see the light, look at the light, capturing the light. That's what we're doing. Okay, see? No fancy editing. But what you are going to do is post it in your local community groups that you've made friends with already. Remember back that day where we were all chin wagging and chatting? Hey, I'm a local photographer and I'm doing a quick chat about how to make better photos with your phone. Come and join me if you're doing the live. Yeah, put the contact detail. People love helpful content. If you like in the mum group, like, hey, I noticed a lot of you were struggling taking pictures of your kids. Here's some tips to help you. I know how much you love it. Maybe some better ones. People will follow you because you've added value and not because you're begging for bookings. That's authority marketing and it costs nada. The more you teach, the more people trust you. Why do you think I've got a podcast? Why do you think I wrote books? I mean, I wrote them because I wanted to, but stuff has come from me having these things. I mean, you're listening to me now. Hopefully you have now clicked follow on this podcast and gone, Khandie, you are the voice of reason that I need. You are the salt to my vinegar. Is that salt and vinegar? Do people have salt and vinegar on chips now? Don't know. Are we banning salt? I don't know. Anyway, Khandie, you are the jam in my sky. I've got to stop. I've got to stop. Okay. Because, like I said, the more you teach, the more people trust you. It's a great marketing thing, it's a great authority thing, and it means people are more likely to buy from you or buy into you, which is great. Okay, so that is day 5. Okay, can you believe that we are nearly at the end of our 7 days as we approach day 6, relationship building and follow ups. So we're now going to start converting all that noise we've created in day 1 to day 5 into opportunity. Day 6 is about genuine relationship building. Okay, so go back through every single person you've interacted with this week, right? Go back all 5 days, every collab, every comment, every DM, every chat. And I want you to send personalized messages out. Just start with 5 at a go. Just put, hey, I love chatting with you in the group about business photos. If you ever need headshots, I'd love to help you. Okay, done, dusted, gone. It's not pushy, it's friendly. Hey, I love that you were talking about family photos. I've got some mini sessions coming up. If you're ever interested, let me know. And I'll send you the booking link or the information. Maybe not the booking link, the information link. Maybe there's somebody who was talking about their music. Oh, hi, I love talking about your music. Please send me a link when it's out. If you ever need photography for it, here's my website. But anyways, make sure you send me a link when your music's out. Do you see how you're not pushy? You're engaging with them. And then I also want you to follow up with old clients. Ask them if they need updated images. I know it's hard, but if you took headshots from somebody ages ago, follow them up. One of the things I do to get around this is, because sometimes it's a little awkward because, maybe you haven't touched base with them, is people, when they sign up to have a photo shoot with me, that in the questionnaire that I have, it will say if they want to be on my marketing. Yeah. So I will add them to my newsletter. And on my newsletter, I have one for my education. So if you want to go to my website, you can sign up for that one. And I also have one for my general clients. And what I tend to do is I put them on the newsletter and I write stuff for them. So if I'm doing a headshot day, I put it out. If I'm doing family mini sessions, I put it out. And I make this information happen. I acquire this information to make sure I can do this. It helps me with my marketing. And once a month, no more than that, I'll send out information to both. Okay. So it really helps me reconnect with my audience. And it also keeps my name at the top of their head when they're thinking of a photographer. Okay, great. There's also a way in which you could do like a casual photo post or a story post on Instagram or Facebook, whatever. Who's the most camera shy person you know? I've got a plan for them. So it's like you're baiting them in. And what you're going to do is perhaps offer a complimentary photo shoot because there might be somebody. Or maybe you want to start posting about this is something my friend does. I need to. Right. Don't think she's share you do this because I laughed when she told me. So, like on Instagram, you can post, ask me any question, ask me questions. So, say, for example, do you need any photo help or have you got a question for me? And you can, people then can write on the story, I know, what's the best setting for portraits, right? and you can answer them in a story back with the question posted. My friend will go back into her own story, not even of her account, over into her own story, and type questions in so she has content to reply to. She doesn't tag herself in it because you don't have to do that, and that's how she gets it. And I was like, "Do you really do that?" And she's like, "Yeah." I tried it once, felt a bit guilty, never did it again. But I was then at a marketing seminar, and the amount of people that do this, I was like, am I the only person? What? And so I will say, oh, gonna expose myself. In the past, once or twice, underestimate that, maybe 3 or 4 times. I have added my own odd question in there. Okay. But I've spoken to people who say, yeah, it's really common in marketing just to get people to, we'll get our friends to message us to give us leading questions to make us look good. I was like, oh, that's nice. That's cool, isn't it? So we've got to get conversations starting. Conversations can lead to bookings. We're warming up those leads. The more touches with us they have as a client, the more likely they are to become a paying client. Because at the minute they're a potential client, but once we start warming them up, they're more likely to turn into a paid client. Okay. And that's what we want. Okay. So that is day 6. And now, bringing in close, we are on day 7. Now, I know this has been a longer podcast than normal, but we are talking about marketing and I'm here to help. And if you have questions that you want me to help answer in a podcast episode, drop me a message somewhere, be it in the Loud Lens Facebook group, be it in my own social medias, and let me see if I can help you, because I've quite enjoyed this, to be honest. So day 7, we are here now. Reflect and build momentum. I tried to give each day like a cheesy title, but I kind of gave up in the end. The final day isn't about slamming out more content. It's about reflection. Look back at what worked, what post got comments, what collaboration led to more reach, and what type of content got saved or shared, and then do more of that. In your little journal, go back and say, look at everything you posted and go, okay, what did that do? You want to look at your analytics. And before you go, I don't have any software to do that. In Facebook specifically, they have something called Meta Business, which is free, and it will show you reach. And I'm just going to click into mine right now. Okay, let me just go in here. And I can see insights, right? So I click on the insights and I can see that in my activity, I've posted so over across all of my social media, so across Instagram and Facebook, because that's the mostly who Meta look at. I've posted 69 pieces of content. Okay. So that's 28 Instagram stories, 25 Facebook stories. Now, before, it sounds like a lot, but a lot of that they cross post, because you can do that if you know. I've put 10 Instagram posts up and 6 Facebook posts. Okay. It's been a busy week. Normally I do 3 or 4. It's just over a week actually, so it's okay. Okay. And my reach has got up, and I can see my reach. I can see my messaging activity. I can see what's going on, and I can see what works. Okay. It's just a really good, one, and it's free. Okay. You can see metrics like views from followers. I mean, views from non-followers has shot up for me, which means my Instagram reach is reaching out beyond my normal audience. I've had more content reach. I've had a 26% increase in my typical content interactions. That's a lot to do with the fact that I shared some really cool news of me potentially winning the award, and that gets a lot of people chatting. And also I asked for some opinion pieces. Okay, so that typically, but what has shot up massively is from non-followers. So my reach is going beyond my typical people, and that's gone up nearly 100%, which is astronomically fantastic for me. Okay, I've had way more Facebook visits and I've had way more Instagram visits, and I can see how good my recent content has been. It's all very rudimentary and basic, but I'm looking at that and I'm reviewing that, because you have to look and review at things, okay? You need to see what has worked. Now, I've probably exposed myself there and you're probably like, oh, Khandie, only 100%, whatever. But it's a massive amount. I already reach a really good amount, so to go up another 100%, fantastic. I would be lying if I said every single one of my weeks was like that. There are some weeks I don't want to do it. And I will schedule stuff and I will be like, that's me done. I'm tired. I'm done. Because I'm also thinking, I don't want to over egg people. I don't want people to get sick of me. So yeah. But people love to see growth. So consider sharing it. So for example, you might talk about, this week, I made it my mission to market my photography business with no budget. This is what I did. This is what I learned, and why I'm doing it again this week. Because people love to be part of your journey. It makes them feel good. Okay. Marketing is not a one-off event though, it's momentum. So you need to perhaps use today to plan next week's content, to reconnect with collaborators, post something that wraps up your journey. Like I said about the post about I'd spent 7 days. And maybe people want to know how you did it, and that'll give you some authority. Okay. Because remember what I said? The more you offer information and teach, the more likely people are to trust you. So if you keep showing up like that consistently, visibly, humanly, people will start finding you again. I promise you. Now, there are various places you can get some free tools like Canva. You can create a free account to create some graphics, reels, whatever. I kind of like Canva, but you know, just make sure you create it to be quite uniquely you. Otherwise, it all looks, you can tell a Canva profile sometimes. Meta Business Suite, I've talked about it. It's about where you can schedule your content across Instagram and Facebook. I don't think it's the best because, particularly with the Instagram side of it, because you can't tag people in the photo, you have to go back in and do that. But it's great for analyzing what works and what doesn't work and seeing where your reach is. Google Business is really good. It's like you get in there, make sure you update your Google Business account. CapCut, like I mentioned, is great for some quick edits, punchy reels. So yeah, there you go. No money, no excuses, just tools that you possibly already have access to. All right, that is 7 days from me. And I hope it works. I want you to tell me, tag me, share with me if it's worked for you. Share your own. Let's comment, let's talk. So if you're sitting here thinking, yeah, it's hard right now, you are right. It is hard. I don't want to get away from that. It is really hard. But hard isn't impossible. You don't need 10,000 followers or a massive ad budget. You need to be consistent, visible, and real. So if you're broke, time is always going to be your currency. And I'm not saying you've got plenty of that because we've all got constraints on our time. So maybe it's 20 minutes here to do something, 20 minutes there. It's when you sat on the toilet. It's that 5 minutes in your car before you go in your house. It's, whatever it is, invest it wisely. Don't doom scroll on TikTok. Don't go, I'm just market research. We're not market researching on TikTok, darling. We know we're getting lost in talking about the latest trends on something or other. We want to focus on the business, okay? So we can then doom scroll all we want because we've made enough money that week. Marketing your business isn't about shouting or being the loudest. It's about showing up the most, being helpful, being human, and being seen. No money doesn't mean no chance. It means you've just got to work a little smarter, perhaps show up a little harder, and remember why the hell you started photographing in the first place. Because you're not done, you're not finished, you're just resetting the clock, okay? Now, I know this is a longer episode, so I want to say thanks for making it this far, for listening to The Loud Lens. And if this has kicked you up the arse, share it with another photographer who might need it. Put it in a Facebook group. Tag me. I want to see it. What else? Because the more we all rise up, the better this industry becomes. Your fellow photographer is not your competition. They are your mate. They are someone you can help with. I literally had a sale in my studio yesterday. So when I'm recording this, it's coming up a bit later. But I had a sale in my studio and I sold a lot of my backdrops really cheaply to a local photographer who was just starting out. And they are, they're really nice, iconic backdrops. And I was like, I don't need them anymore. And I could have got a lot more money for them. And I was like, nah, you can have them for that price. Why? Not because I'm some elite and like, look at me, I can give them away. More like the fact is, I've got no use for them. I want someone else to flourish. I'm not a douchebag. I want people to be happy and warm in this business. And the more people there are, the better it feels for me. We're not in competition. You need to get your head out your ass. You're not in competition with other photographers. You're in competition only with yourself. So if you want deeper mentoring, tough love strategy, you'll find me here on The Loud Lens. You can also reach out to me for mentoring, but mostly you'll find me here. So until next time, go make some noise, show your face, and remind the world that you are just not done yet. And I am going to go have a coffee. I'm feeling a little better. But yeah, please go and follow this podcast wherever you're listening to because I like numbers that look good. Okay, bye.